Welcome back, everybody. I'm Stefan ADIKA. You're on Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And who is in the hot seat tonight? From Venom Inc., we have Jeff Mantas Dunn. He's in the house. He's going to talk about, is there any closure between him and Kronos? What about closure? Do you feel like you have, don't you want the closure with you and him and Kronos?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what it is? If we could...
It's all coming up now. Don't touch that dial. Record just came out. Get it? The links are down below in the description. Pre-order. I want to know about the Ouija board and all the good stuff you got here, all to make us feel like kids again. I'm afraid of the Ouija board. I'm afraid. Are you gonna? Would you mess with the Ouija board? Yeah, I wouldn't even touch it. I'm afraid. I would just look at it.
Nah, like I say, I'm not a massive believer in all that. Like, but I don't know. I don't think I would. You know, it's like somebody, I can't remember who it was, but a long time ago, wanted to do a tarot card reading with me.
I'm a little weird. I'm a little, you know what? I don't know if I believe or disbelieve, but when I hear the stories, I mean, earlier when we're talking and you're telling me the story, I felt like I was having a stroke. And I'm like, oh my God, is my face going? I'm like getting wrapped up and I'm getting all crazy now with this. You know, I'm Jewish. I'm allowed to be crazy and mental up here. You know, this is what happens. You know, if you're sick and something's wrong with you, I got it already. It's already, I'm terminal. My wife goes, you can never let anybody be sick. You always have to have everybody else's sickness. It's the way I am, Jeff. What with Kronos, whatever happened with his depart and all that? Do you guys, ever try to talk now, or is water under the bridge, or because you have these life experiences, right, where you saw death and this and that. I mean, after that, you go, you know what? Maybe I should give the guy a call, or I want to call any, people that we were friends and now we're not friends. I want to just talk to these people. Yeah, ever comes to that? Or no?
Do you know what the thing is? As I said before, pre-fame, before it went ballistic, and it did. It was zero to hero. It was overnight. We literally didn't have to do anything apart from the record going out, and that was it. It was straight. I don't think it'll ever happen again for another band like that. It was just, I don't know. Whatever happened just happened. But alcohol, substances, and personality changes and stuff like that. And it was just like myself and Kronos, he would come to my house and stay for the whole fucking weekend. My mum would be making us both food while we're just sitting playing guitar or coming up with silly designs for the band and stuff like that. You can't remember, we were fucking just out of our teens, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I introduced him to like weight training. We used to go to the local gym and do a weight training, and then, would then walk from the sports center. It was like a family sports center where everybody used to go, and there was a gym with some free weights and stuff. So me and him would go there and we would train in the morning, and then on the way down there was a small convenience store, so we'd buy 6 eggs and a pint of milk. And, that was our shared protein drink, with raw eggs into the milk. And that was it.
Rocky style.
How we didn't kill each other. Oh, yeah, it was. It was all that, But, there was a bond there at that point. There was and we were close, We had become friends. And there was always that bit of unhingement there, though. And then, like I say, it was, when things started to go crazy for the band, and, you're seeing your photograph in the press all the time, you're getting front covers, and, then obviously, everybody sees the singer, regardless of what the band is. Everybody sees the singer as the front man and the person who's there representing the band, and it was like, there was some, I'm not going to say them now because there's a lot of it in the book, but there was some horrific incidents. There was some horrible incidents which were totally unnecessary, which should never have happened, And with the management side and with another member of the band, there was the financial things that went on, and it was like, you know, and I've just had some news recently from someone. I'm not going to say where it is because I don't know if it's been publicized or whatever, but it made me think: was all that conflict and with what happened to me, with what's going on now, was it worth it? I mean, it's something which should have been so good for everybody. We could have probably been retired by now and, living quite comfortably. But, internal argument. And the reason I left was it was personalities. It was the personalities in the band. And it was that Lorelei Festival in 1985. There was an incident there where I just went, this isn't about fucking music anymore.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, the incident involved. I mean, how the police weren't involved in it, I don't know. It was unbelievable. But to think, if you think of the impact and the influence that this band has had, and our place, I suppose, to cliche it, our place in musical history is secure. When people talk about heavy metal and influential bands in heavy metal, Venom's always going to be up there somewhere. We might not be top of the list, but we're going to be there somewhere. And to have had that much impact and to have that much reverence from your peers, and everybody knows the name Venom, and every anniversary of this band has gone past and has never been celebrated. And that is one of the reasons that we as Venom Inc. now, we're doing the 40th anniversary. We're doing the black metal shows. There was one point. I do this Facebook Live thing twice a week. Monday and Friday. It's become a bit of a fun thing to do and just interact with people. That's all it is. It's nothing major. And people were asking about the 40th anniversary of black metal, and just the anniversaries of the band in general. It was just one of those things, and it actually did cause a bit of conflict within the Venom Inc. ranks as well, because there was things taken out of context. And the one big thing that was taken out of context was when Blabbermouth decided to just put one headline up. I was like, oh, come on, man. And the headline was, oh, Mantas wants the original fucking Venom to get back together. I was like, that's not what I said, man, for fuck's sake. Watch the video to see what I said. What I actually said was, and myself and Tony from Venom Inc., we had a conversation about this the day before, saying it's sad that all of the members who've ever been a part of this fucking shit show circus can't get together. Not just the originals, but everybody's period of that band, and, do a celebration festival, just devoted to Venom and bring on guest players or whatever. But every era of the band is represented, so what Kronos is doing now, he plays a few of his songs with his men. What Venom Inc.'s doing, we play a few songs. Then you have the Primeval era, when it was myself and Tony and Abaddon. And then, Al Barnes was involved as well. And then you could have the Calm Before the Storm era, where Mike Hickey and Jim Clare were involved as the guitarists. And it would culminate, obviously, with the original lineup coming on stage and playing some of the classic songs. And it was an idea that was just thrown out there. But I actually did say, if anybody's watching this, then get in touch. You're not going to get any apologies from me, because what I've said is true. And, I've heard so much bullshit on the internet and in interviews and stuff. I was like, what planet did this happen on? What dimension were you in when this was happening? But there was nothing. There was no reach out. There was nothing at all. So I thought, and I mean, the original lineup did come together in 95, 96. It lasted a couple of years, and then it just went again, But it is very sad to think that a band that has had that much impact can't be celebrated. So that's why, as Venom Inc., we are celebrating it, you know. And again, it's a story that I tell all the time. So I don't know if I've told you, Stefan, but on my phone right here, there's a photograph which I saved from some internet site or whatever it was. But apparently, it's the last selfie that Geddy Lee ever took of the three of them together.
Wow.
And, you know, you can see Geddy like that with his hand out, and there's Alex and Neil. And they, you know, a three-piece band, just like Venom, obviously far more talented, but a three-piece band nonetheless. And they just look so happy to be in each other's company. And I saved that shot. And I was actually jealous when I saw that. I thought, wow, that's amazing, you know. And then you've got three idiots from Newcastle who can't even, you know, it's like. But you know, there are stories where, you know, I've had a lot of people who turn around and say, "Oh, you should get back with him," and I say, "Oh, right, okay then. Think of the most toxic relationship you've ever had in your life. Now invite it back and see how you get on." I was in the studio with Sebastian Bach, right? Again, a big Venom fan, right? We did an interview together about Venom, how we discovered Venom. We recorded a Venom song together, and we were just standing chatting. And he said, "Hey man, you should give the guys a call and all that." And I said, "Yeah, you should do the same with Skid Row." And he went, "Yeah, fuck those guys." No, exactly, exactly. So you know, it's not easy.
It's not easy. But let me ask you this, okay?
Yeah.
And not the band getting together, but there was one time in your life you and Cronus had the bond where you're walking as kids, you go into the gym, he's eating at your mother's house, your mother's feeding him. You guys are just
Mm-hmm.
there's no fans, there's no tabloids, there's no yes men. It's just two guys that were liked each other's companies, liked each other's music taste. You just liked to be around each other. And then
Yeah.
you just had 4 years ago, you had that situation where you were gone. Your head turned, you were gone. You ever just want to just call like, hey, I don't want to leave no, what's that expression? No stone unturned, or there's an
Oh
expression
yeah.
just to give
Uh-huh.
a call, go, hey, you have your situation, I have mine, but I just want to be on my end here to be clear with you that no matter what, hey, there's still something for you in my heart, whatever. And I just want you to know who I am. And without the
Mm.
egos, without all this nonsense, just two guys. That ever cross
That's
your mind?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there was things that he was going through when I was still living in England. Things that I heard from his brother, who doesn't even speak to him anymore. Which, like you say, then there's a family breakup, not just a band breakup. There's a family breakup there. And I really thought at one point about, and this was my plan, if it had happened, was to drive to his house and knock on the door, and when he opened the door, fucking come here, drag him out into his front, go, what the fuck are you doing? You know, because you know, at the end of the day, we created something to get, you know, regardless of who wrote the stuff or whatever. What the fans remember as Venom, not Venom Inc., not Venom now. I'm talking about Welcome to Hell, Black Metal, those days, you know. And I know there's a lot of nostalgia about it, and you know, nostalgia's great. It's good to look back on stuff, but you can't live in the past. Otherwise, I'd be in the time machine now. I'd be straight there. I'd be like, see ya. But yeah, there was that thought in my head just to just go down, knock on the door, and go, "What the fuck are you doing to yourself? You know, what the fuck's this about? You know, I mean, I'm not going to say what was going on. I mean, his brother told me things, but you know, you get moments like that, and then you know, he was questioned. He was questioned in the press about my heart attack. You know, the interview, I said the same thing to him. Did you not reach out to Jeff? Well, there's been problems in my life and he's never reached out to me, so I didn't feel the need. So it's like, there's a thing about people from, anybody can say it about themselves, I suppose, and about the areas that they're from. But there's definitely, in Newcastle, we're known as Geordies, right? So there's definitely a Geordie thing about being stubborn, and there's that, nah, fuck off. Nah, it's that one chance only, nah, out, that's it, forget it, and like I say, as you get older, and then you hear things which are going on in the other person's life right now, and you think, all that conflict that happened, and all that greed, and all that narcissism, and all that, has it been worth it? It's you do get really. I mean, I do. Probably. I probably get over emotional about it, to be brutally honest. Whereas in a way, I should be just wiping it off and just going, "Hey, fuck those guys," But at certain points, you can't. And I even, because the woman I'm with now, Anita, she was there from the beginning. And I've said, I've said things like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And it's like, ooh, it's like, well, but this happened, that happened, but I still wouldn't wish that, and it's like, so I don't know. There was a huge argument going on Facebook one night, like a Venom argument. And she was like, right, that's it, I'm joining in. I was like, oh, don't, man. So anyway, she joined in, and then somebody, this fan who I know, right, who thinks he knows everything about Venom and about the band and everything, in reality, he just makes his own realities up. So like, I don't think you should say anything. Oh, what the hell do you know and all that? I was like, oh. So that's when I got involved.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, I got a very long apology. But there's I don't know. It's the same with any band. I've always said, more so than a marriage, that a band can be the biggest destroyer of friendships. Easily. How many bands are out there now who absolutely hate each other and they're still just doing it for the money?
They're still doing it for the money, yeah. And as kids, when we became fan of the bands, it's like a gang. It's a club.
Oh yeah, yeah.
One for all for one, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
one of the biggest things that disappointed me, as a Kiss fan, was when I started reading about, like, oh well, Ace Frehley didn't turn up for this recording session. Ace didn't do this. Ace didn't do that. And then there was a thing I watched on you. I think it was an interview with Gene Simmons, or was it a passage from his book? It was like, Paul did this, I did that, Ace did nothing. Paul did this, Gene did that, Peter did this, Ace did nothing. And I was like, oh, I mean, he's, Ace is there. He's immortalized right there, But when you hear stuff like that about your heroes,
I know.
It's a bit,
know. I totally get it. What about closure? Do you feel like you have? You don't you want the closure with you and him and Cronus?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know what it is? If we could, because I know his personality, it's, I don't know. It's this, we once did have a conversation on the phone where he really opened up, and the conversation even surprised me, because it was like this is going to sound fucking it was like speaking to my friend again. Let's put it that way. I mean, this is years and years ago, many years ago. I mean, I'm going back a long time. And it was the same with Abaddon. You know, there was friendship there. There was genuine friendship there with everybody. But like I say, you know, when the fame and success hit, it was just then it was like, you know, everything dispersed. You know, they were the party guys, you know, and they loved all that kind of stuff, you know, where I didn't, you know, and you know, then years later when when it's all gone to shit, you know, like, oh yeah, Jeff was boring. I was like, no, I wasn't bad. I just didn't want to go to fucking clubs and parties and fucking all that kind of stuff, you know. I'm not into that, you know. Fucking all my all my partying and drinking and all that kind of stuff was before the band.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad, because you know when the band hit, everything's available for you. You know, everything's free. It's like, hey, you come and have some of this. You know, stick this up your nose, drink that. You know, fucking, we're going here, we're going there. So I'm glad I did all my stuff before the band. You know, I remember it was New Year's Day, and I woke up in my own vomit, and that was it for me. You know, I was like, nope, not doing that again. That was the end of everything.
Yeah. That was Jeff Dunn, and please make sure you click on the links in the description down below and check out Venom's new album. It's out, Venom Inc. There's Only Black. And give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and let us know your feedback in the comments down below. Who loves you, baby? We do.